bureaucracy is they're tied up in bureaucracy, and it's just part of the democratic government. Everyone has different agendas. There are different lobbyists on both sides trying to sell their agendas to the government, and that's why the PIB is taking so much time to get fulfilled. So what's good for one side isn't good for the other. But we also have to think about it in terms of the sovereign wealth fund and the excess crude account. If we don't pass this thing in time, or if the market starts to crash and we haven't necessarily diversified or empowered local players, it's going to affect the country as a whole. And that's key. We need to empower the entire value chain of the oil and gas, the upstream, the downstream, and the midstream, so that even the people providing services, it will empower our economy as a whole. So
we're not taken by surprise. Now, I do, because some of the members also said that, okay, fine, they don't see oil prices crashes significantly. This is still an ongoing conversation. We did see Brent 2 or 3 months ago, so falling below $100 per barrel the first time in a while. But they did say that yes, the ongoing tensions in the Middle East, Iran's nuclear program, Syria, Libya, and all of that still help support oil prices. So it would seem that this is what OPEC members are just banking on, as it were. But it helps because it just seems that there's just no end to the conflict in the Middle East, so that is what they're banking on to keep oil prices at least above $100, even if it's 101 or 199 cents per barrel.
Yeah, there'll always be turmoil, and turmoil sometimes is good for commodity prices in general. Not just oil. You could see when there was turmoil in the Ivory Coast, you saw how cocoa prices spiked. So sometimes turmoil is good for.
Do you think that buys us time, at least for a country like Nigeria, that buys us time to?
Yeah, globally, you can see a lot of countries are still trying to fix themselves. Libya is still trying to rebuild the infrastructure. Iraq is still trying to rebuild a lot of its infrastructure. So it's not producing as it should. So it still buys us a lot of time. But we still don't have that much time in a sense because of our own issues we're going through in the Niger Delta and the vandalisms and the thefts that we're seeing in of some of our crude assets.
And the force measures that we've had from some of the oil
Exactly, from some of the oil majors. And so we need to fix that. We need to fix that quick. We need to fix insecurity. And once we fix insecurity, which I can see the president is making some strides towards, we'll be able to go and develop our oil industry. And we need to pass bills, not just PIB. We need to pass all sorts of bills that need to be passed so that we can fast track this economy.
Now, let's go back. Going back to OPEC, look at the quotas, individual quotas. There's been a trend. It was not this year, last year, the year before, and the year before that. Members always exceed their quotas. And it's something, it's always an issue. They come every year, they discuss, say, yes, you did this, yes, you all exceeded, but it doesn't seem like, nothing is usually done. There's no penalty, at least everybody, because the thing is, it's like I said, it's about money. Everybody wants to get the money. We see Saudi Arabia, like I said, overproducing to fill the gap from, Iran. So do you see this, do you see a time when, 30 million barrels per day, but, as the world economy is slowing down, economies need more money. Do you think that we might see like most of the members exceeding their quotas targets, including Nigeria?
Not necessarily. Economy is slowing down, as you pointed out, but populations are growing. And
so energy demand is rising.
Energy demand is going to rise. GDP growth, there's a growing middle class in a lot of in different countries and different sectors. China is having a more powerful middle class. Even Nigeria, you can see that from 2006 to even till now, you can see the middle class growing. We would want to see a larger middle class, and we would want to. And that also comes from extending credit facilities to create that middle class. And once that middle class can acquire different transportation vehicles and all, so it will lead to a growth in all of them.
Okay, let's look a bit into the future now. At that meeting, the OPEC did say that U.S. shale oil production could top 9 million barrels per day by 2018, which would mean near sufficiency for the U.S. as well as significantly less dependence on OPEC imports. Now that's clear and present danger for OPEC. But based on this particular statement from OPEC, looking down into the future, 10, 5, 7, 9 years from now, do you see this happening? And what do you think the oil market will look like in terms of the dynamics and OPEC as itself being in existence?
Yeah, OPEC over the next, I can say, not short term, not 5 years, but over the next 10 years, if the U.S. focuses on actually not being so dependent on foreign oil, will become less relevant, as pointed out. But, OPEC will always be a relevant player in the sense that it does provide oil to China. It does provide oil to India. So they would look to those
Asian
emerging markets. And China is the next rising dragon. So it's going to be the next major player on the global scale. Most most manufacturing factories have moved to China. It's now a major player in all facets of the world, in construction, in anything you can think of. So that's the next frontier in a way. So OPEC will always have slight relevance. Will always be relevant in that sense because the power structure is moving. So it will always keep OPEC relevant.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts.